Konnichiwa, Mina. And after many months, because this was supposed to be back in October, and I actually did make a video about this back in November, but for some really strange reason, the video was deleted. No idea how, but it was. But after finally working on it all day yesterday, here is the a tutorial on how to paint trucks for MTM2. Now, first you're going to need MTM2, of course. You're going to need paint. And, where's that shortcut? There it is. Come on, load. Alright, you're going to need bin edit. And you're going to need fly raw guy. And, if it's possible, you need... It's not required, but it'll make it much easier for you if you have something like Paint Shop Pro. Now, first you have to get a truck, which you could just download or whatever, but once you get it, unfortunately, the easiest way you could do this does not work on Windows 7, so you're shit out of luck there if you do have 7 or 10. But you can go into bin edit, go into pod extractor, browse the pod. Where's one at? Just pick a file, and then you there we go. You press one, you go all the way at the bottom, you hold select, hold shift, and then you press them all, and then you just hit extract. And you need to have a folder for art and models too for it to go in successfully. And oh no, that's for tracks. But after that, you load up the truck. And I made this truck a repaint of Outlaw. There's Outlaw's model. So first, you have to, once you get the tech, oh, that's right. Once you extract everything, you go on fly raw guy. You hit convert raw to BMP. You go into the art file and you look for the textures, which in Outlaw's case, I have them all set to Outlaw 1. So if you don't know what texture you're looking for, you go to texture, normalize, and it'll show them each one when you just point on them. It'll say the name, and you just keep it up and just look for it. So once you find the texture you're looking for, Outlaw1.raw for instance, you select it and convert it. So now it becomes a BMP, and it'll be in the art folder too. Like let's see if it's there. There you go. See, all these textures that appear are ones that have been converted. So now there's two ways you can do this. This is not as easy, but if it's the only option, it's really the only option then. You load up paint, you go into the folder for the art. Now I gotta find that shortcut again. This is ridiculous. Set it to only show BMP. There we go. And you select it, and you just paint over it. However, if you save it, there might be a little problem where it changes the colors and shit. So that might be a little problematic, but you just paint over it. That's pretty much it. And you have to keep the textures at 256 by 256 size or 64 by 64. Anything else, it'll corrupt it, and you'll have to start all over again. But if you have Paint Shop Pro or something like that, you can just load it up. And unfortunately, Paint Shop Pro has been a dick the last like couple years, so it probably would crash. But anyways, once you get on there, once you copy it on the Paint Shop Pro, you copy it and paste on the paint. And once you paint it, you select the whole thing, copy it, and then you paste it onto here. And when you do this, you'd have to go to image and decrease the color depth to 256K, or else it won't work. And then you save it as whatever you want. But you have to keep the texture name under 8 characters, or else it won't work there either. But once you save, finish what you're doing, you go to convert BMP to raw, and that's it. So now, when you load up, if I load up Outlaw again, if I made any changes to Outlaw 1, it would appear. Now, if you change the name of the texture and want to replace it with the new one, you gotta go into not tools, texture, replace. It'll take a bit to load though. Alright. And if it's not on the truck already, you go to view all textures. And the truck I'm gonna repaint Outlaw is Hagane Crush. Steel Crush. Well, steel in Japanese is Hagane. So I had the first letter H. So you press an H, and you just keep going down until you find it. Here you go. So you gotta match them up to make sure they're the same one. So Hagane 1, no, that's Haganai. I need Hagane. So Hagane 1 is Outlaw 1. So you hit replace, and there you go. It appears. Now, if you make a mistake, the texture say I did the wrong texture, you can just simply replace it with the correct one. Or if you don't have it, you can go to view load textures and replace it with what it's currently called. Or you can hit cancel and it will disappear. However, the texture for some reason lately will still appear, but if you hit replace again, it'll go back to the original texture on the screen. But now I'm gonna paint Hagane. I'm Outlaw into Hagane. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. I've already made Hagane, but I want to show you all again. So you just keep selecting until you get the textures you want. There's 8 textures in total. And that's it. So now you make sure you always look around, make sure everything is correct. And you can also map the textures too, although that's really advanced shit that even I have struggled with, so I'm not going to get really into that. But now let's load up Hagane's actual model. As you can see. Now, once you're done making the textures, fixing the truck and shit, you go to Tools, Truck Editor, and if you extracted a truck, it'll already be there. But in this case, we'll load up Outlaw. Where's Outlaw? Alright, there's Outlaw's truck file. Make it bigger to see. Alright, now let's move it around. There we go. Alright, first you go to truck name, which is the name of the truck in game when you appear on the main menu. So change it to Hagane Crush. Now the model base name is the name of the file, which in this case is whatever the model you saved it as name, which in case it's Hagane. Now, the tire base model is the texture, the tire itself. Now, if you ever make tires, you have to have, I'll show you. When you make a tire texture, you gotta have a model of the tire's name with an 08L, 08R, 10L, 10R, 16L, 16R. You gotta have one of each, or else it won't work. And you gotta flip them around because L is the left side, R is the right side. That's a whole bunch of work, so if you can't do it, you might as well stick with the tires you have. But I already got what I need, so purple. I think that's it. There we go. Alright, now the axle is the axle, of course. And when you do the axle and everything else, you gotta have this at the end. Which in case the axle model is a .bin, so you gotta have .bin at it or else it won't load in the game. So, there you go. And same thing for the raw, shock and bar texture. You gotta have .raw at the end or else it will not work. Alright, now for the bar texture. Oops, did .act instead. And that's part of the raw file, so leave it there. And I got the wrong shock texture, I want black. But once you do that, once the truck is finished in that regard, you go save as. I'm going to make Hagane Crush. And the truck's name got to be under 20 characters, I believe. So if there's not enough text, either don't have spaces, or make it like a short name. Like instead of Gravedigger Legend, we just go with the Legend or Legend instead. But once you do that, you pod it. And if there's nothing wrong, no message will appear. I put here. And pod name cannot have spaces in it either. It's got to be under 16 characters too. And then that's it. So now we gotta pod it into the game. So I gotta find Hagane Crush. I gotta take everything else out too, because I haven't worked on this at all since MTM2 World Finals Free, and I don't got most of these models anymore. And the game will not load unless you have the pods you're podding at the moment. So might as well delete all the useless crap. Yeah, got that. Where's... Alright, now... There we go. Alright, now we'll load up MTM2 and see what happens. Because if it doesn't work... Okay, it loaded. Because if it didn't work, it would display a message that you got the wrong things potted. Alright, now... Hagane Crush. There you go. Oh, yeah! And I forgot to mention, the colors don't display correctly back then easily in 1998. So some colors will not display right at all. If you do like a really like bright pink, like maybe like Medusa, it'll appear as red in the game instead of like pink. But anyways, you're loading the game, and there's Hagane Crush, incorrect color purple, just like Night Stalker. And you just drive around to see how it is, if it matches how you want it to be. And this is the first time I'm actually driving, so I'm gonna do some tests. And like the one thing I always do is test to make sure to do donuts right, and make sure it would handle the turns good too. But looks like it can. Hey, it's a replica of Outlaw, and Outlaw I did a lot of tests on, so if it works for Outlaw, it should work easily from here. Alright then. Everything seems to be okay. So that's how you make repaint trucks for MTM2. Yeah, MTM2. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to probably make a video of me freestyling Hagane Crush.